reading the scars that have shaped me. The scars that have shaped me. Hello there, lovelies. Welcome again to another episode of Little Drops from Jemima. My name is Jemima, and I will be your host on this channel. Okay, so if you recited this thing with me, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. If you don't put it in the comments, you know that will be a lie, right? Anyways, if you recited with me, put it in the comments. If you're new, welcome to my YouTube channel. Like, I'm talking like every other person. Well, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jemima, and on this YouTube channel, we do videos on spiritual growth, personal development, and food blog. Okay, so if you're new on this YouTube channel, you probably don't know that we are doing something. We're reading a book in a month. We're reading 12 books this year. So this month we read one book. We share lessons on what we've learned about the book. Next month we read another. The month after we read another, and on and on and on and on like that. This month being the first month of the year, we're reading a book, and the title of the book is The Scars That Have Shaped Me: How God Meets Us in Suffering, and it was written by Vaneetha Rendall Risner. Little drop from Jemima. Who is Jemima? Yeah, I just like playing basically. Yeah. Okay, lovely. Welcome again to another episode of Little Drops from Jemima. My name is Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share with others, and also leave comments, right? Okay, so the book we're reading this month, The Scars That Have Shaped Me, I said in the last video that it was divided into 3 parts, and each part has subheadings. So if you've not downloaded yours or you've not gotten your own copy, I'm going to leave the link to where I downloaded mine in the description box so that you can also go there to download yours. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the first 2 subheadings in part 1. Part 1 was titled Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, and the Bible verse that was attached to it was Psalm 139 verses 13 and 14. I think it's a popular scripture. I'm not going to recite it, but I'm going to put it here. You're probably going to be seeing it like on your screen. Yes. And then the 2 parts I'll be talking about right now was titled The Scars That Have Shaped Me and The Wounds of Bullying, right? So as I said in the last video, if you've not watched the last video, I think you should go back there, because I'll be making references to them and you might not really get what I'm saying if you don't watch the last video. So but the Risner, it was like more of a life story, like the things that she has gone through, her painful experiences, how she has suffered, how much she has suffered in life, how she was able to get through with all her sufferings, how she was able to receive hope, how she was able to receive comfort from God. That's what the book is about. So if you're suffering in any kind of way, I believe this book is for you, because she has gone through every form of suffering. So Vaneetha Rendall Risner is she had polio when she was young, like when she was an infant. The age was not specified, but she was an infant when she had polio. By the time she was about 12 or 13, she had already gone through 21 operations, like 21 surgeries, right? And it was like especially on her body, on her skin, and on her legs. So you can imagine the amount of scars that those things would have left on her body, different parts of her body, right? You can imagine the amount of scars. And then due to the fact that she had polio as a child, she could not walk like without support. She would have people looking at her, she would have people calling her crippled, she would have people, you just know that kind of thing basically. And then anytime she saw the scars, it just reminded her of the pains she had gone through. Okay, yes. And then when she was a teenager, I think it's just common for everybody or most people. When she was a teenager, she wanted to have a perfect body. You go online, you see models you see this and this and that, and you're like, God, I like this kind of body. I would like to have this kind of body. She had that kind of fantasy, right? She wanted to have a good body, but her situation, the condition of her body would not allow her to have that kind of body, and so she was like very depressed. She saw people that were very proud of their scars and they spoke boldly and with courage about their scars. They were saying things like their scars made them unique, but for her it was not like that, right? I think that those people are they're already going through the phase of hating their body or not liking their bodies or not liking their scars and all that, and they were coming to the understanding and the acceptance of these scars. I think you should just read the book so you get the idea of, because these things I'm just saying like little very very tiny parts of the book. When you read the book, you get the full gist of the people that were talking about appreciating their body and accepting that they had scars and all. You get the full gist of how she was bullied basically. So please, I think you should read the book. So in the book she spoke about, I've like this part like really catches me because I've never really thought about it like that. In the book she spoke about Jesus' resurrection when Jesus came back to life after 3 days, right? He was nailed to the cross. There was crown of thorns on his head, when he was crucified and all, right? And then Jesus had scars. When he resurrected, yeah, the scars could have been gone. Like when he resurrected, he could have resurrected with a new body. Like I never really thought of it like that. I never thought of the fact that he could have just resurrected like with new skin, fresh skin, without wounds in his hands. I've never really thought of it like that. I'm like, okay. So Jesus had those scars for a reason, right? And then when I read the book, I started also reminiscing about it. When he showed the disciples his scars, and that was his identity. Right? Your scars are not supposed to make you feel bad. Your scars are like evidence of who you are. They are evidence of the things you've gone through that other people have not gone through. They are evidence of you are strong because you've survived something. You've survived something that pained you. You surviving that thing, you're a survivor. That makes you strong and unique. So like when I was reminiscing about the fact that Jesus had to have those scars to show his disciples. Thomas that doubted, if there was no scar to show, that would have like caused the division between them. If there was no scar for Jesus and like there was no scar on Jesus's body, and Thomas had asked, okay, so you are Jesus, where are the scars on your body? Where are the holes on your body? If there was nothing to show, it would have caused a division among the disciples. Like I was just reminiscing, I'm like, wow, actually, like Jesus had scars, just so that you will know that whatever you're going through right now, Jesus went through it, right? Jesus had scars on his body. His body was not like without blemish. His body was not like unscarred. Jesus had to keep those scars even after he resurrected. So now imagine that Jesus did not have those scars, and Thomas asked, okay, so you're Jesus. What is the proof that you're Jesus? Those scars were the proof that Jesus was Jesus. They were the proof that Jesus died and resurrected. They were the proof that Jesus was nailed to the cross and Jesus has conquered everything for you and I, right? And then if Jesus did not have anything to show for the things he went through, if he did not have anything to show, like there would have been no evidence, and the disciples would have been divided, and the gospel of Jesus Christ will not be where it is today, right? It might have God would have probably found a way around it, but if Jesus did not keep those scars, it would have probably taken a longer time for the gospel of Jesus to start, or for the ministry of the disciples to start when it started and where it started. So it would have probably taken a longer time, right? But Jesus kept those things just to show as evidence that is Jesus. Please read this book so that you get the full gist of this thing. So now the lesson we learned from this first part, or the first forbidden, is the fact that we need to embrace our scars, no matter the amount of scars we've had. Your own might not be like on your body, your own might not even be emotional. Scars come in different ways. No matter the scar you have, embrace it because they make you unique, and there are evidences that you've conquered something and it makes you strong, right? Some people have not gone through what you went through and they're probably pointing hands at you. But let them know and understand that you're stronger than them because you've conquered that thing that you've not conquered. So now the second subheading I said I was going to talk about is the wounds of bullying. Now bullying is emotional. Bullying leaves emotional scars for people, right? So now the first thing we talked about is the fact that she had already gone through physical suffering. There's light. She was bullied at age 7. When you read the book, you understand and you know, right? She was bullied at age 7 by some boys. But she had polio and all that. So they were calling her crippled and all. She could not walk and all because she had polio when she was younger, much younger. And so they were calling her crippled, You know how people can be. Like the words of our mouth can hurt people, right? So she felt very bad, and for the first time, I'm not going to give you this gist. You read the book, right? So she felt very bad, and that thing taunted her. It was not just that, she had gone through different kinds of bullying, right? And that one was just one that was magnified for her. She magnified it in her head, and she was 7 years old. Imagine that kind of child. If she grew up with that kind of mentality, you know how that would have left that kind of emotional scar on her. So even the times that she was bullied in front of people, nobody stood up for her. So she grew up to accept whatever people said to her. She grew up to accept it, right? She grew up to even expect that, oh, if she goes out now, someone will probably point hand at her. The fact that when she was even bullied in front of people, people did not stand up for her. I want you to know that if you see a wrong thing and you don't speak against it, you're an accomplice. So she had that kind of thing, those kind of experiences growing up. So she grew up insecure about her body. She grew up with those kind of insecurities about her body. She grew up with anger in her. She had that kind of anger within her and those kind of insecurities, right? So in the book she said that when she grew older and then another kind of pain came, another kind of pain started in her life, and that pain brought back the memory of her childhood bullying, the way she was bullied when she was younger. And when she was younger, she didn't take care of it, she didn't speak up about it, she didn't get any help. When I was reading the book, I remember something that came to my mind when I was reminiscing about something some years ago, that your unresolved past catches up with you. Okay, now so she was she became a teenager, and the bullying things was around 7 thereabout. Yeah. So when she became 16, she met Jesus Christ, and things changed for her. Before she met Jesus, she was angry and insecure. I know someone will be like, okay, so she met Jesus and she was no more insecure. Oh, she met Jesus and she was no more hungry, right? But when she met Jesus, she came across the Bible verse. She gave her life to Christ when she was 16. She came across the Bible verse, John chapter 9, and it was the story of the man that was born blind. And God was telling her from that story, He said He was going to use her handicap for His glory, right? Because in John chapter 9, Jesus said that the man was born blind for the glory of God. So that means that for her, her handicap, our crippledness had a purpose. Every problem has a purpose. So there was a purpose for a scar, right? There's a purpose for your scar, which you will not realize until you meet the one that created you, right? So what am I saying? Have your connection with your maker. Have a connection with your maker. That's one of the ways that you see the purpose in your suffering, see the purpose in your pain, see the purpose in your scars. Now, I was saying that she was bullied at a young age, of which she never received help for. And when she grew up, she went through another kind of pain that brought back the memory of that pain. So she shared her problem, or she shared the story of how she was bullied when she was younger. She shared it with someone, and that one gave her relief. What am I saying? Speaking up about your problems or speaking up about the things you're going through is like a beginning of freedom. Speak to Jesus, speak to God. As time goes on, even because I've read the book to an extent. Lament, like cry if you need to. Talk to God, even if you don't have physical friends around you or people around you to talk to. Talk to God, like God listens, right? And then when you talk to God, wait to hear Him back. Like there are times that we just lament and talk and talk and talk, and we don't wait to listen like to what God has to say concerning whatever we're complaining about. So as much as you lament to God, hear from God. Read His word because He speaks through His word too. Like it's part of the ways that God speaks to us. When you share your problems or when you share things that you're going through, you receive help. You receive freedom. Like talking about it is a step towards freedom. Like you're taking a step towards freedom. Anyways, that's that, right? That's that. If like you have any comments concerning everything I said, please put it in the comments, right? Put your comments in the comments. If you have any lesson that I probably did not talk about, put it in the comments. So I would like to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching till the end. God bless you. And you guys will see me again next time on Little Drops from Jemima. Bye.